and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a review recap of the second episode of season 13 of RuPaul's Drag Race. So we pretty much pick up where we left off in the last episode with the queens that were eliminated, and they were prompted to vote off one of the queens in the losing group to move on in the competition. Now, my faves from the last episode, the queens that made the biggest impression on me were Simone. I just love her style, and she's just an amazing performer. I love how she performs and her presentation up on the stage. I think she really knows who her character is, and that really shows. She's really polished in her delivery. I also love Denali. I thought her lip sync performance was great, and I thought she should have won that round, but unfortunately not. I also really like her presentation and just how polished she is as well. My next favorite, and who after this episode is kind of gaining a little bit on Simone. I think they're my top two favorites after this episode, and that is Elliot with two T's. I think she's very much a dark horse in this competition, and I can't wait to see what she does next. And we'll talk a little bit about how she did in this episode. And my last sort of favorite is Tina Burner. I think she's a fierce competitor, a very seasoned performer. So I can't wait to see how she does in the competition as well with the challenges up ahead. I know she's used to performing on the stage, and there was a bit of critique of how she needs to tweak that a little bit for it to look better when she performs on television. So it picks up again where the voting where the last episode left off, with the queens needing to vote off one of the queens in the losing group. They don't know anyone, they haven't seen each other perform, so it's very much a thing of elimination by first impression. And what ended up happening was Elliot and Utica Queen were the bottom two. They were tied, so all the queens that were not in that bottom two, they needed to vote again, and the unanimous loser of that vote happened to be Elliot. And I was really heartbroken, and you can obviously tell that she was as well. It's just heartbreaking to see someone when they've only really had one chance, that one lip sync, to really show their skill, and there's so much more to drag than that. But what ended up happening was, once Elliot was announced as the loser of that vote, RuPaul pulled another surprise on us and decided to bring Elliot back, but put her in the winning group. So all the lip syncs that happened in the last episode, the winners of that, they were kind of split up from the losers of the lip sync, and Elliot ended up joining the winning team of queens. So that I was so happy to see that. I'm glad they gave her another chance, and I thought it was kind of going to be a thing of, first impressions count. This is a high stakes competition, so you really better bring it on that first day. But no, I'm glad that RuPaul gave her a chance and saw. I think she sees something in all of the queens, but I'm glad that she changed it up in such a way to allow for Elliot to prove herself in further rounds of the competition, just with fashion and all the other challenges that she could have a chance to show her skill at. Now, the other queens in the winning team were very perplexed. Some of them were sort of pissed off and thinking that Elliot was put into their group as a spy, which sounded a bit ridiculous. And so, of course, they threw a bit of shade, but Elliot kind of threw some shade back at some of the queens, and I was kind of proud of her for that. Yeah, I think this episode really showcased that. Elliot is really that dark horse, and yeah, you should feel a bit threatened by her and her skills. But anyway, so the first mini challenge was a fashion show, as you sort of would see in previous seasons of the show. The first category was daytime drama, and my favorite looks were of Candy Muse. She ended up doing this medieval style kind of fancy look with the big sort of curled white hair. And I really liked her makeup as well, but I could kind of see that it didn't really fit into the category very well, and the judges ended up asking her about that later on in the episode. Yeah, so I understand that it didn't fit into the category, but I still actually really liked the look regardless. Next we had the next look that I liked was La La Ri. I know it was a little bit basic. I've seen, yeah, some of that commentary that it was a bit too basic, but I really like the look. It fit really well on her. It fit the theme, and I thought it looked very nice. Even though, yeah, she there was a little bit of a trouble with her getting her heel caught in the skirt of the dress, but regardless, she still kept walking and still kept going, and I quite like that look. And then the other look that I really enjoyed for that category was Olivia Lux. She had on this kind of glam 60s baby doll look. Her makeup was absolutely beautiful. The hair was really well put together. The accessories, she had on these pink glasses, and there was hints of lavender in her dress. And I thought, yeah, she looked really great in that look. And then the next category for the fashion show was Nighttime is the Right Time, where the queens dressed up in vampy, slutty kind of evening wear. And my favorites of that category was Gottmik. I wasn't too much a fan of her daytime look, but yeah, her nighttime look really, it was a really good contrast between the day look. But I absolutely loved it. It was kind of all black velvety kind of gown with one of her nipples being exposed, but she put a sort of a bejeweled pasty on it. But that the dress with the makeup and the hair, it all works so well together. I love that look on her. And then the shows, I thought this was also a show-stopping look in that category, was Elliot. She came out in kind of a sort of late 1800s style dress. It was all black again, with this kind of hat with a tall feather. It had like a leather looking corset. It was a great look. Yeah, I loved it a lot. And that pop of red hair, yeah, it really kind of had a great contrast to it, really made it stand out on the runway for that category. So then moving on to the Maxi Challenge, the queens in this winning group. So this episode will just be focusing on that winning group from the last episode, and then Elliot joining them as well. So the Maxi Challenge was that the queens had to write their own rap lyrics for a verse in one of RuPaul's songs. They were going to do a performance. It's Congratulations is the song. And they also had to choreograph a group routine to go along with it. Yeah, they were sort of bumbling about in the rehearsal, having a hard time kind of agreeing on how the routine should go. And with Elliot being the dancer, but also, I don't know, I think she was kind of just wanting to step back and not really butt in as much. I thought it was maybe a matter of confidence, but I have heard others say that it was maybe more a thing of kind of underselling yourself, but then really showing out in the performance, which is, yeah, one way of looking at it. But I thought she was just mostly kind of intimidated to step in and lend her expertise in the realm of dance. But yeah, after like a while, she did step up. She kind of helped the rest of the team figure out some of the steps for the different parts of the song, and they were all surprised that she kind of stepped in so late, and were throwing a bit more shade at her. It's like, oh, now you're the dance queen. But yes, it was great to have her step in and kind of help out, because she did see that they were struggling quite a bit, and I thought it was great that she did, because the final routine came out great. It's always funny though to see though that it seems like they struggle so much in the preparation of it. It's like, oh, they're having such a hard time writing the lyrics or choreographing the thing all by themselves, but then the final product is like really good actually, and you kind of don't see the transition. I was like, how did they get from totally like struggling with everything, but then kind of just showing out like that in the performance that gets shown in the episode. Yeah, there was also during the rehearsal, Gottmik got quite in her head, because the lyrics in the rap song that she wrote for herself, for her verse, they mentioned that she was born as a girl, and she kind of didn't have a chance yet to speak to any of the other queens about the fact that she's a trans man. Yeah, so she was very kind of self-conscious throughout the rehearsal, and the other girls sensed that, and I think it was only in in Untucked, I watched the second episode of Untucked, that she was able to talk with them about it, and all the queens were very, very supportive. They thought that what she was doing on the show was really groundbreaking, and it was great to see them all come together and support Gottmik in that way, and not judge, what drag is supposed to be, because there definitely are people in the community who think like, oh, it should be only like, men that are born as boys that should be doing drag, but I'm glad that they're really open-minded and came in to support Gottmik and made her feel at ease, so that was really great to see. So my favorites within the performance were Olivia and Ellia. Olivia was great. She actually is a really talented singer. The verse that she recorded was really great vocals. I really enjoyed it, and just her look, it was great, and how she just stood there on the stage and poured her heart out. It was great to see. And Elliot, yeah, I noticed her a lot in the performance. She really came to play. And I think has shown that she is deserving of a spot, even in this group of winning queens, that she's in there just like everybody else, and is fighting for that crown. And then after the performance, we had a runway. The category was Lame. My favorites were Simone and Tina. Tina had this all silver look that was a play on the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz. I thought it was a really good move that she switched up the whole aesthetic of yellow, orange, and red, which kind of goes with her drag name, but it was starting to become a bit boring, and her looks in the previous runway show, they were all in that kind of palette, so it was great that she stepped out of that and did something really different, and I love the look and how it came together and the all silver makeup that she put on. And then Simone came out in a very show-stopping look. It was very different from what all the other girls did. She came out in this glossy kind of boxer look, Also repping her house, the House of Avalon, which Gigi Good is actually also a part of. Gigi Good was actually my favorite from last season of RuPaul's Drag Race, and yeah, now I'm rooting for her house sister Simone in this season. So the top two of the night, including the runway and the performance, were named to be Olivia and Simone. Yeah, and I agreed with that. I think they both did especially great in their performance. Yeah, their runways were really strong as well. Um, and the twist is for this episode was that the bottom two queen, there were no bottoms in this episode, and they had the top two queens, Olivia and Simone, lip sync for a $5,000 tip, which was a great feeling to the episode after the last one, which was quite grueling with all of those eliminations and everything. Yeah, it was a really good uplifting episode. And their performance, yeah, Olivia and Simone. Oh my God, Simone is like, she can just perform the house down, and the judges noticed this as well. Like they noted that she is a star. She's a star in the making. She really has an amazing career ahead of her. And I can see that. It's just same as in the previous episode's performance. She just transcends that stage. Like, she's so expressive, so fun in her performance, really theatrical, dramatic. You don't know what to expect. So, yeah, she's very much still at the top of my list of queens, yeah, for this season. And yeah, so that's about it. Where next season, I'm looking forward to seeing what will be in store. We're probably going to catch up with the group of losing queens, and it's probably going to be an episode focused in on them. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this episode. Let me know who your favorites were from this episode, who your favorites are in the show. Has your ranking changed? What were your favorite looks from this episode? Looking forward to interacting with you guys. Thank you. Bye.